and action, I guess. I don't know. I still need to work out a nice intro, or any intro, really. But yeah, so this is a model that I finished pretty recently. This was the Starsky and Hutch Ford Torino by Revell. And yeah, I just meant for this to be kind of a simple, quick build, something to get me out of, I don't know if it was like a, like artist block maybe? Or kind of like a rut. Just been coming home from work, too worn out to really do anything. But so yeah, didn't really do anything too crazy with this one. I mean, that's actually the stock ride height from the kit. Those are the wheels that came with it. I just thought that was a pretty cool looking, you know, it looks custom, but it's not too crazy and out there. I kind of wanted to hide the fact that it was a Torino, so I cut out the wheel wells, went for the kind of more of a boxy look, made sure to cut them pretty parallel, flat with the ground. You know, I don't really like to make those kind of modifications, you know, sloppier, you know. And cut out the trunk, made it look like there was a gas tank actually in the trunk. That was an old leftover part. Little hatches in the window, little hatch in the roof. Some pretty simple armor on the sides, but still kind of a meaner look. On the windshield went for just a couple different pieces that I started layering up, trying to get a different shape, but still something that, you know, looked kind of tough and mean. Got a little spare tire on the back. Maybe it's just an axle shaft welded there with a so it's just lug nuts, so the wheel's actually attached there and doesn't need any straps or anything. The bumper, tailgate, all that pretty much came with the kit. I think the only thing I really added was the styrene around the windows, the tire, and this brush guard, little fog lights on it. They came from a die-cast Land Rover, Range Rover. And yeah, it was a part that I've been holding on to. Wanted to use it on something. And it was pretty much the perfect width for this thing, and it kind of covers up the face of it a little bit. I recessed the grill a little bit in there, or Frenched it, you know, just a little bit to hide probably one of the most defining features of the car is just the face of it, I think. I don't do many 70s cars. And I think the name of this one, I was calling it the Red Nose, because obviously I have the whole front clip is just red. I like the idea of doing like a dark gloss red. I don't know how it'll show up in the video. I got a dark flat primer gray, a little bit of dirt, and it almost looks through the little lens finder, whatever this is, LCD screen. I mean, it actually looks matte black even. And for the chassis, you know, I went pretty heavily weathering this one. Got a lot of rust, a little bit of silver, maybe a little bit of scrapes and scratches, and then did a whole lot of gloss black around the engine, transmission, and even the differential cover. Give it the impression that it's leaking oil, especially when it's driving at speed, so you could see all of the oil trailing down the bottom side there. And as for the kit, you know, this was a pretty nice little kit. Got the box over here even. It was just it was really nice how solid it was and how quickly it went together. What I really like is the especially the chassis. I mean, it just fits in there real nice, and it's got these nice little locating tabs here in the back. I don't even think this is glued together. Yeah, I could pop this apart if I wanted to. I almost forgot about the engine. Yeah, hood still comes off. Yeah, a lot of dirt, rust under there, grease, even mechanics touching it. Yeah, so kinda basically just a lot of rust, grease, grime, a little bit of silver. Just a lot of dry brushing. You know, nothing too special. Just a good, solid little car. It's pretty quick. You know, pretty much for road use only. You know, just a nice, solid, stable car. I'd imagine this would be more for like a, maybe like an escort in a convoy, or like a decoy maybe, or could even be like a patrol car, or anything really. Nothing too aggressive. You see the weapons or the brush guard to be more for like defensive, you know. No crazy spikes, no crazy weapons, no mounted guns. I don't even think I damaged the body up at all. Just a little bit of rust, a little bit of, you know, maybe some plates there as if, you know, they're just covering up some rust. A little extra support. I made a nice cut here in the doors because that was one thing with the kit. The body lines weren't really well defined. They were kind of shallow, and the paint kind of filled them in, and just rubbing some black paint in there and wiping it out wasn't really making it that noticeable. So I just took a hobby knife and a small blowtorch, heated the thing up, and just cut some nice big slits. Kind of gives it the effect of a door that doesn't really fit all that well, but you know, of course it's the apocalypse. You know, you're not going to be worrying about little things like that. Imagine the top armor would stay in place, but made a little cut there so that piece of armor would open. I think the interior, yeah, I didn't really do anything with it. This kit was molded in red. I don't even think you can see in there. Yeah, but that was just, yeah, I said it before, but you know, it's nice to do a nice clean car that's not too crazy modifying. You know, it doesn't take a lot of time. You know, it's just a fun way to get you in the building mood, I guess. Because I know I've showed this one before. It's another little work in progress. But I did a little bit more work on this one. I'll see how this camera's lined up. Yeah, so got a nice big bumper on the front of that from a 18-wheeler. Got some supports in there to make it look a bit tougher. Real crazy stance on this guy. I mean, you can just see the size comparison's ridiculous on these things. This one is a much more insane, out there kind of vehicle. Yeah, I know I've showed this one in a video. I'm almost positive of it. But I know I've done a ton of work. I mean, now it's got the whole back cut out. Put a nice seat in there. I could put a bunch of gear in there maybe. Got the roof rack. Was actually from the same die cast that the brush guard was from on the red nose. A little bit of like just a simple bar. I think that was like a roof rack or something. A brush guard for another car. Little light up on the roof there. Framed out the window, or at least the side windows, with a bit of a little angle iron. Just something, I don't know, new that I tried. I think I've done it in the past, but yeah, just a nice way to get a nice solid look. Yeah, I put a little supports back there. Let me just figure out this camera. I know that'd be something nice I'd like to figure out is how to actually edit these videos. Maybe incorporate music or titles. And so, yeah, I still made, this one is still removable. And so I could still swap it out with other bodies. I don't know if this one's done yet or not. I haven't really been, I mean, it's pretty close. Doesn't need to be all that much more done to it, I don't think. Made this one look more like it was a cleaner vehicle, like this is how it actually came from a factory, or even a like a company that would modify these kind of vehicles. Maybe like something for the military or something, or like a civilian use version. Got a whole pile of crap going on here now. Yeah, so this is actually a die-cast tow truck that the flatbed went to another model that I showed in the past. And the bed is from a die-cast, roll bars from a monster truck. These smokestacks are from the same kit that the bumper on the other body came from. And just, you know, made it look like they slapped some armor on it. And kind of like it's just rusting, getting older. Like it's been around for a while, but there was no need to really modify that thing all crazy. I know I talked about this chassis in the past, but you know, the kits that it came from are getting expensive now. I can't get over it. So I think that'll just about do it. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of the comments and all that, and you know, I mean, that stuff really gets me going. It's so cool to see people like not only saying like, "Hey, cool build" or "cool video." I mean, they're actually like taking the time to actually write something meaningful, and like I love seeing that kind of stuff. So I make sure I always read all the comments. I try to respond to them all as well. And if you have any suggestions for anything else you'd like to see, because I know like how-to videos, people have been asking for me to try to give those a shot. And honestly, I think I'd have a lot of fun with it. It wouldn't be so much like a how-to video, it'd be more like just how I do it. You know, because there's so many different ways to like weather or rust or, you know, cut up a body on these cars, but you know, I think it would just be something fun to do and fun to watch, I'd hope. Well, that'll just about do it for this one, and have a good day. And hopefully this is the part of the video that I know how to cut out, because I just think it'd be funny to do this. Yeah, so I really got the nice swiveling camera going here, nice solid setup. Yeah, this rig was it's a really nice rig they got set up here. Yeah, nice wording there. But you know, you might look at it and might just think, nah, it's just a camera screwed to a milk crate with some bricks and a stool, and he's just sitting on an oil drum with a piece of wood. Nah, this is actually a very expensive camera rig, usually reserved for you know, professionals that take their job very seriously, along with this reclaimed material seat that just looks like a rusty oil drum and a piece of wood. But this is actually made by a local artisan, and it was very expensive, very exquisite. Yeah, pretty much, you know, like, I don't know, like, at times it doesn't seem like I take it all that seriously, but I just try to have fun with it, just enjoy it. You know, it's a hobby, it's not something to stress out about, you know, it's to relax. But anyway, hopefully I'll figure out how to edit that, and y'all can have a good day again.